Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, October 21st through Saturday, October 27th. This week, there is nothing on the Christian calendar. There is nothing on the Hebrew calendar. There is nothing on the Islamic calendar. So I'm going to go straight to the celestial events, and there are two. There's one on Tuesday, and there's one on Wednesday. Tuesday, October 23rd, the sun enters Scorpio at 7:22 a.m. or 11. The sun into Scorpio. On Wednesday, October 24th at 12:45 p.m. is a full moon, 1 degree Taurus 13. So that's it for the week. But I mean, that's it. There's only a few things, but I don't want you to think that they're of no consequence, because that would be incorrect. So we'll get into a little bit of it. But first, since I have time, and this is the general reading where I teach something, I try to at least, I've decided to tell you about the man who theorized that October 23rd in the year 4004 BC was the first day of creation. And this thing actually went all the way to court. Ultimately, it was argued in court whether October 23rd was the first day of creation or not. But I decided to tell you a little story about the fact that it even happened, because most people don't know. But I've said it before. So those of you who watch me, you've probably heard me say that this happened in history. So now I'm going to tell you the story, or read you the story at least. So I am going to www.theglobe, THEGLOBE, and, as in the conjunction, and AND, mail, MAIL.com. There is an article, it's an opinion piece, written on April 7th of this year, 2018. The author's name is Neil, Neil, Reynolds, Reynolds. A special to the Globe and Mail, published originally December 28th, 2010, updated April 7th, 2018. The man who dated creation at October 23rd, 4004 BC. October 23rd, 4004 BC, basically 3344. 477, depending upon how one wants to look at it. Here's the article. Odd, isn't it, that it's always poor James Ussher, who lived from 1581 through 1656, the Irish theologian who famously calculated the precise date of creation, October 23rd, 4004 BC, who gets mocked as the looniest of the deluded Christians, the presumably intelligent people who regarded the Bible, however, divinely inspired as a historical book. Ussher is always good for a chuckle. In his bestseller, God is Not Great, Christopher Hitchens references Ussher only for his foolishness, but the ridicule bespeaks a certain ignorance of its own. Ussher wasn't the only 17th century scholar to date creation. Johannes Kepler, who lived from 1571 through 1630, who formulated the laws of planetary motion, placed it in 3992 BC. Sir Isaac Newton, who lived from 1643 to 1727, perhaps the greatest scientist of all time, placed creation in 4000 BC. So why mock Ussher and excuse Kepler and Newton? Ussher was extraordinarily brilliant. He entered Trinity College at 13. Trinity. Okay, pay attention to these little details. Trinity as in 3. He entered Trinity College at 13. He got his master's degree at 18. Again, listen to the little details. 13, 4, 11, 11, 18, 9. The magic number. He was ordained as an Anglican priest at 20, 11. He was appointed Archbishop of Armagh, or Northern Ireland, at 40, 11, 11. He became a revered historian and a Hebrew scholar. On his death, Oliver Cromwell ordered him buried at Westminster with this epitaph, quote, among saints, most scholarly among scholars, most saintly, end quote. In 1650, or 66, he published his monumental The Annals of the World, a 1,300-page work. Exactly 1,300 pages, or 13 with 2 zeros behind it, each representing God force perhaps, or cipher, or some other numerical language. I don't know. This book was written in Latin. It was a book which he sought to date every major historical event from creation, quote unquote, in the beginning, to 70 AD. So he wanted to start from the beginning and go all the way to 70 AD. By Usher's calculations, we are now set to enter the year 6015, or 66. 4004 plus 2011 is how we got to this. Also, this would have been, he's talking about 2010 when the article was originally written. It was updated, remember, on April 7th of 2018. So when he refers to the year 6015, or 66, he is adding the year 4004 to the year 2011, which would have been the year about to immediately follow the original date of this writing. So now we would have to add 7 more years to it. So this would be the year, where was the original year? 6015. This would be the year 6022. Or 613. That's a 6 and a 4. 19 or 10. Okay. I don't want to get too crazy with my numbers because I can very easily. This is very close to Jewish tradition, okay, this year. The year that he calculated, which puts the year at 5,771. So this year now is 5,779. So again, this was 8 years ago. Well, I just added 7 to it. So 8. 8 is correct. Anyway, given the variations in calendars and clocks over thousands of years, a 244-year gap is reasonable, one way or the other. Using Usher, we will be precisely 2,455,792 days removed from the first day of creation as of New Year's Day. Again, 2011, this would have been. Usher used known dates of historical events, calling on secular sources, as well as religious sources like the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, to anchor his calculations. He relied heavily on the work of Yosef bin Halafta, who died in the year 160 AD, a rabbi whose monumental book, and the name of the book was Book of the Order of the World, established the traditional Jewish historical chronology. I have a cold, and I'm like, not a cold, but my nose is, I'm nasal, as they say. Usher sought comparable credibility in his own magnum opus. He needed 12,000 footnotes to reference secular sources, 2,000 footnotes for religious sources. So why October of 4004 BC? The Bible does not say the creation began in October, let alone October 23rd. Usher relied on Jewish tradition. Rosh Hashanah, the celebration of the Jewish New Year, was an autumn event from earliest times. Usher arbitrarily selected the first Sunday after the autumnal equinox, so the fall equinox. The autumnal equinox, of course, occurs in September. Usher delayed creation to compensate for arcane errors in the juggling of dates caused by the ancient Jewish calendar, which divided the year into 12 months of 30 days. This year, Rosh Hashanah began at sunset on September 8th. Next year, it begins at sunset on September 28th. So again, they were talking about years 2011 and 2012 respectively there. Usher was apparently correct, judging by the contemporary consensus, in identifying the birth date of Jesus. Based on the death of Herod, he concluded that Jesus could not have been born later than 4 full years before January 1st AD. He dated the first Christmas again in autumn in the year 4 BC. Very interesting. I don't know how he could have dated the year at 4 BC, although I like the number 4. How could the first Christmas, if it was supposed to be connected to Christ, how could the first Christmas have occurred 4 years before he was born? That doesn't really make sense unless I'm misreading something. But I like the part about autumn because I agree. I told you I myself have done calculations and am pretty convinced that Jesus was a Virgo. In any case, Usher's Annals makes for fascinating reading. He omits nothing of interest, either sacred or profane. As a reference book, it's unique. Every paragraph is numbered and referenced in the index. Every paragraph is coded to identify sources. You can quickly locate not only the citation to the celebrated Cleopatra, for example, but to the 6 Cleopatras who preceded her. Did you know about that? Out of print for decades, impenetrable in its Latin and Old editions, Annals is now available in fine slipcase edition, improbably edited for clarity by a retired Ontario couple, Latin scholar Larry Pierce and his wife Marion of Winterbourne, a village north of Kitchener and Waterloo. The Pierces acquired photocopies of the original Latin and English versions in 1997, and they spent years making them comprehensible to the modern reader. With this version of Annals, now in its 7th printing, the result is a contemporary affirmation of history, as is someone's words, quote unquote, a divine poem that heralds hope for all creation. The end. Now, I just want to say, we've become a society of people just blurting out their opinions as facts, pasting them on pictures, memes, passing them around. We're a severely meme-educated society. I think it is horrible because how many of you knew about this before I said it? So rather, instead of being knowledgeable about this information, we would have people going around saying that there's no record of anything from the year 4000, right? Nothing connected to Christianity or Judaism has ever been discovered. There's no writings, there's no this. I've heard of all these things. I'm sure you guys have too. It's not true. We're just learning from people who don't know what they're talking about. So I encourage everybody to do their own reading. I'm not saying people have to go to school. There have been many successful people who have never went to college or who dropped out of college, so that part is neither here nor there. College is an institution. I'm talking about education. Educate yourself. And we cannot educate ourselves by reading stuff on the internet that we don't go back then and research. And we do others a disservice too if we just pass on the information without ensuring that it's true. And especially when we make these very matter-of-fact sort of posts, and here's some information that I don't even know where it came from, and I believe it, therefore it's true, and anyone who disagrees, is a dummy. We really hurt society, not just ourselves, when we do that. So people who are on a journey like this one, now this part is my opinion, so you can take it or leave it. This is my channel, so I'm going to go ahead and say it in my video. People are on this journey. We're being awakened to light and love for the purpose of spreading positivity, compassion, truth. So that means something supported by, historical evidence, if it is available, rather than just blanket statements that historical evidence is not available, and we ourselves have never even checked to see whether that's true. All right, so I'm going to get off my my box, and we're going to get onto the reading instead. Off the box, onto the reading. Beginning with the dice, and stay in bed. Spend money. And no, I didn't talk about the 24th, the full moon in Taurus, because I figure I'll do a full moon in Taurus reading. I typically do a moon reading, but I will say I would expect that it would most affect, obviously, Taurians. It's going to be square the nodes this full moon. So I would imagine also Leo and Aquarius will be affected, because Leo is the north node, or the true node at this time, and Aquarius is the south node. There is also a trine to Saturn, which is located currently in Capricorn, I believe. So Capricorns probably will also be affected. And did I get everybody? Oh, Scorpio, of course, because Venus rules Taurus, where the full moon is occurring, but Venus is currently located in, not only located, but retrograde in Scorpio. Taurus is currently located in, or rather, Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the south node, is currently located in Taurus too. So that's another reason for Aquarians to be impacted. I'm an Aquarius moon. I'm going to presume that moon and rising signs would also be affected. And those of us for whom Leo is our north node and Aquarius is our south node, I would say that we would be particularly affected as well by this moon. So again, I'll talk more about the moon in my moon reading, which I haven't done yet. I haven't recorded yet. On the dice, Spirit still says no. So if you had a yes or no question you were pondering and you couldn't determine for yourself, the answer is no. Weekend away, but sex was staring me in the face. Like, weekend away was the top message, but this was facing me. So I'm going to say that on that weekend away, sex occurs. And this can be even if it's like a business trip, because this is the general reading. You know, you may just be, or you're away visiting somebody and unexpectedly something else can happen. Sex. And buy shoes. Could be literally. Buy shoes. I think I'm going to buy a pair actually this weekend. And definitely figuratively. And as a matter of fact, earlier today, I heard Nancy Sinatra, these boots are made for walking. So somebody could be walking away from somebody else, or walking away from something, a job, a home, relationship, you know, a living situation. Again, this is the general. Situations could be coming to a close, something that through which you've been going, because this is a week with a full moon. Full moons bring endings, and then, of course, thereby new beginnings. So there's things coming to a finish now. What else? All right, I guess that's it. Pre-reading. Let's get to the cards. So I'm beginning with the Magician, Major Arcana card number 1, which represents the sign of Gemini for me. Sometimes I do also connect it to the other mutable signs, but definitely primarily Gemini. And it's all about having the ability to manifest whatever it is you need to accomplish whatever it is you'd like to. You are ready. You have the need, they have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. So again, this may also be representing a Pisces, a Sagittarius, a Virgo. Opening to the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative if you're able. The King of Fire is a Leo. Sagittarius or Aries, possibly Scorpio too. Magician. And opening 2 major arcana cards, Strength with Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. When this card shows up, you can face anything that comes your way. Strength represents the sign of Leo. Magician. And major arcana card, Renewal or Judgment in the traditional tarot. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. For me, Judgment represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. These two opposite one another. This could be a Scorpio manifesting something, whatever it is they need. You know, because this is going to be a big week for Scorpio. I've been saying for the past couple weeks that I recommend getting any services, readings, energy healing, energy work, whether it's from me or wherever, beginning last week, also, of course, this week and next week through the 31st, because on the 31st is when Venus leaves Scorpio. But until then, as of the 23rd, there will be 4 bodies there. Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and Jupiter. Right. So we have this, you know, this very brief period. And the whole month of October, the veil between, you know, like our realm and the spiritual realms is thinner. And as we get to the end of October, you know, it thins even more. People say, oh, there's, you know, many people believe, and I guess it would be considered a pagan belief, but it's a belief nonetheless of many, that on October 31st, on Halloween, you know, it's like paper thin, the veil between the spirit realm and us. So it's the best time for us to be trying to connect and you know, get the messages that we need and to communicate back and forth. And so I recommend anybody who needing any services do that. So that said, Scorpio, it's your big time. And especially for any sign, when the sun is in your sign, you know, you're illuminated. Your spotlight is on you. You're the star. So that's the case now. Scorpio may be awakening from retrograde. Both of its rulers were in retrograde for a long time. Mars was in retrograde in Aquarius, and then it moved into Capricorn and finally went direct about 3 weeks ago. Pluto was in retrograde, also in Capricorn, went direct about 2 weeks ago. So Scorpio, you know, coming alive, right? Resurfacing now, you know, to come and greet the sun. And so maybe, you know, bringing everything that they need with them, just manifesting what all their wants and dreams. Also, this could be something maybe involving a Scorpio and a Gemini, or a Scorpio and one of the other mutable signs, perhaps. Magician. And the 10 of Earth, a very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. Magician. Cuts. And it is major arcana card 0, the dreamer, with Archangel Metatron. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. In this deck in particular, this card for me represents the planet Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. So another card representing Gemini, but this time we're adding Virgo to it again. Dream is about a brand new path. So again, endings and then a brand new start for someone. We're walking a path we never even walked before. It is the Fool in the traditional tarot. Overall energy is the 7 of Earth. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action. Unnecessary worry. So if we planted seeds, we don't need to be hopping up and down and pacing back and forth, wondering whether or not they're going to grow. The expectation should be that they will grow, because that's what seeds do. That's their purpose. 2 crowning. Crowning the masculine this week, the 6 of fire, victory, good news, it's on its way, public recognition or award. So the 6 of fire is like, you know, a soldier coming through, making his victory laps, crowd cheering him on. So this could be really like you're a standout in some area of your life, masculine, whether it's work or you've accomplished something, people are proud of you, you're proud of yourself, you feel good, you're just feeling victorious, triumphant over your trials and tribulations, your struggles. You know, that's the feeling there. Masculine surrounded by the Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic and witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. As a court card, this Queen of Air can represent an actual person, male or female, air sign, quite possibly, like direct air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Could be representing Venus herself, Mercury himself, even though it's a female in the card, it's a queen. And this may be the area in which you're victorious. Maybe you successfully cut something out of your life. That's what the Queen of Air does. You successfully made some adjustment to your life. You walked away from something. You put the walking shoes on, the boots, right? A relationship, again, a job, a living condition, you know, just some sort of worn out circumstance. It was, you know, it was dead. It didn't no longer align with your vibe. And so you got away from it. That's quite possible. Again, this can also represent a person who's particularly impactful upon your life this week. It can be your own energy as well, masculine, whether you are a male or a female. The masculine subconscious. The Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth in a situation, a challenging beginning. The Ace of Air is, yes, a new beginning. And to me, that's the most important thing, right? I always say it's a beginning nonetheless, even when I read a challenging beginning. But it is a beginning that quite often it was difficult getting here, right, to this place. We climbed here. And we may experience a couple more bumps along the road. That's possible. The worst is behind us, and we're getting a fresh start, but there may be, you know, some hiccups, as they say. Crowning the feminine. The 10 of water. Very nice. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional needs and your material needs are both met. Also, you have trustworthy relationships. The 10 of water, for me, it's about being surrounded by love. It can be like one other person is with you. You know, close friend, family member, romantic interest, whatever. You just feel good. You just feel, like it says, content, happy, loved, loving, just good. Good. It can be about spending time with friends. Like all of a sudden you decide to go out and, you know, get together with some other people, an unexpected party or something, a gathering. It doesn't even have to be in person. I have a Facebook friend, client who purchased the Divine Light Cleanse this morning. And like an hour after, she hit me up again and she says, I just spoke to somebody I haven't spoken to in 2 years. I can't believe it. It could be that sort of thing. Like all of a sudden you're just filled with love and joy. Feminine surrounded by the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. Well, this can be representative of the North and South Node. This can be Aquarius. This can be Leo. This can be representative of that Gemini and Scorpio that we just saw. This could be Gemini. This could be Scorpio, ruled by Mars, at least in part. This can just be our energy. This is like the true divine masculine and feminine. The places are reversed, but that's what it is. The Queen of Air and the King of Fire. The King of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, again, or possibly a Scorpio. And is a representation of the divine masculine in the tarot. Speaking of Gemini and the feminine subconscious, it is major arcana card number 6, the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. Now, I'm not surprised to see all this Gemini. I know I didn't mention them when I was talking about whom may be affected by the moon, for example. But Gemini is ruled by both Mercury and Venus, both of which are located in Scorpio. So to me, Gemini and Scorpio showing up together over and over and again makes a lot of sense. Feminine, this can be about you feeling again in love, especially crowned by the Ten of Water here. And maybe specifically with the divine masculine, who may or may not be a direct fire sign. This is interesting. Okay, so these are the two cards that wanted to come out together, and they are the 6 and 7 of water, respectively. The 6 of water. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children. Romanticizing the past. The 7 of water. A complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. The 6 of water can have to do with children. It is possible, especially in a general reading, and maybe sitting here next to the 10 of water, which can be about family. And when I say family, it can be like close friends. It can be people that we consider family. It doesn't have to be like your blood relations and stuff. The 6 of water is also a soulmate card. It's also a soulmate card. Past life relationship card. A card that shows up when people are returning to your life. Exes and stuff too. You know, just people from your past, people from your childhood. You could have a situation with your family that you're addressing. Maybe that you need to address. You haven't ever. It's finally coming out. You guys are finally talking and maybe, you know, doing some informal counseling, impromptu. Like you're all of a sudden everybody's piled into mom's living room and the topic, you know, has come up. And we haven't talked about this our whole lives. And something's coming up and now people are being healed because a conversation's being had. Okay, that can be a case too. There can be a decision that has to be made about the family or about children perhaps, or about a soulmate, whether or not to, you know, maybe you have multiple options. That's a possibility too, with the 6 and 7 of water showing up here together. The 7 of water, although not a court card, for me tends to represent the planet Neptune and the planet Pisces, which it rules, and where it is currently retrograde, by the way. And the reason is because the 7 of water, at least for me, it's about like fantasizing, dreaming, again, having a lot of options potentially, you know, just sort of making plans, but no real direction or real action being taken. And so we're guided to put some thought into how can we bring about actual movement and not just dreams. How can we make the dreams a reality? That's what that is. At the root, here's the walking away card. We've got the 6, 7, and 8 of water here. Kind of like in order. Also, there's 3 6s. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The 6 of fire, the 6 of cups, and the major arcana card 6, the lovers. The 8 of water, a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. The heart of the matter, ooh. The 3 of air, great sadness, take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. There was a reading I did today, I think, or for today. When did I do? I don't remember. But very, very recently, that a card had jumped out. I was giving the advice, and I put one card here, one card here. It may have been a client reading. And another card jumped out and landed right at the center of the table like this, as if it was the heart of the matter card. It landed on top of it. And when I turned it over, it was the 3 of air. So This is an energy that's going to be felt by more than just one or two people. Again, there can be a decision that has to be made about a family member or a family situation. You, like, you know, especially sitting here atop the Three of Air, for example, somebody and their siblings, for example, could be trying to decide whether or not to put the parent in a nursing home or something. You know, so it's something that brings some sadness. Somebody could be deciding whether or not to cease to speak to or deal with members of their family. Somebody could be experiencing a breakup, you know, something romantic. It doesn't have to be romantic when the lover shows up. This can be just a heart versus head decision. You know, like, again, mom is, you know, old or sick, or dad is old or sick, and the right thing to do is probably to move them, but who wants to take them out of their home? You know, so that sort of thing that breaks your heart and tears at your heartstrings, somebody could be going through something like that, a family issue of that sort. Let's do some further clarification. With the Animal Tarot, I'm going to begin with the Ace of Autumn. So that's good. We started with the Seven of Autumn, essentially the Seven of Earth, Pentacles, Coins, whatever you want to call it, with the other deck, and now the Ace here. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, or a serendipitous meeting. Also, a rewarding advice may come your way. That's valuable too. You may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture, or an investment, or even a relationship. Okay. Opening to the Nine of Summer. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. Now we have the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ace of Autumn. And the 10 of Winter. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings of, that's what I was trying to explain. Feelings of mixed joy and sadness. So here's the joy, here's the sadness. Relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about the changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So again, this can be like a breakup. It can be leaving a job, people that are your friends, moving away, moving on in some sense, and it's like tearing at you. Ace of Autumn. The 10 of Spring. You're working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and to enjoy life, right? To be surrounded by love and family and friends. 10 of Spring. One more. It is Major Arcana card 2, the High Priestess, which also represents the sign of Gemini for me, or perhaps a water sign. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. So what this is saying is observe, right? Take it all in. Really observe, pay attention, listen, watch. Let those who have eyes see, let those who have ears hear. This is using your third eye as well, right? This is using your gut feelings, butterflies in your stomach, clairaudience, visions, dreams. Paying attention to your dreams, waking up in the morning, writing them down. I posted on Facebook today. I woke up this morning and I guess I had been dreaming about it. I don't remember any dream, but as soon as I opened my eyes, what was on my mind was the fact that at the beginning of my name is an M-A, and at the end is another M-A, and in the middle is a I-A-M, like I am. So I was looking at all the ams and the I am. And again, I don't know what the heck I had been dreaming about, but it must have been something, because that was what was on my mind when I opened my eyes at 7:30 a.m. I should have written it down, written something down. But at that time, it was like I was telling myself that I had to look up the meaning of the letter A because I already know the meaning, or several meanings of the letter M, and I didn't know what they might mean together. And that's what Spirit, the angels, whatever, whoever had visited me in my sleep was guiding me to do. It's that sort of thing. Dreams. Pay attention to all of these things. When I do a reading and there's stuff happening and I hear music all of a sudden, or something happened. Last week something fell. A woman said something fell in her house at the same time, and she was like shocked. She commented. All of these things are things of which we have to take note. And that's what the High Priestess does without even trying. That's who she is. And then she uses the information if she needs to. Should it come up? Should she decide, that's the way to handle the situation. And she won't move. She won't do anything until she's moved to. She won't take any action at all. And she'll just be walking around knowing stuff, and you won't even know she knows. 10 of Spring. I'm going to cut. And it's another dreamer, a fool. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. The overall energy is yet another 6 of Spring. So we got one here, crowning the masculine. This is the overall energy in this deck. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, find that you're singled out for some sort of recognition. You've done an amazing job, and you deserve all the attention that you get. Could definitely be a promotion too, since we started out again with the Ace of Pentacles. Some sort of increase that's causing somebody to move on. And again, you're going to leave people behind, and that's sad. Atop the 6 of Fire, renewal. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment. That in itself can be a victory. Just letting go of the past. If somebody hurt you, just saying, you know what, let's move on. Let's just close that chapter and start a new one. Right? That's a victory in itself, a triumph. Yeah, forgive what has been without judgment. Fearlessly embrace what's to come. Renewal is Major Arcana card Judgment in the traditional tarot, which we have already seen once before in the other deck. I said it represents the planet Pluto for me in the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. Oh, we saw it opposite the Magician when I was shuffling the first deck. As it relates to promotions, career, Judgment is about abundance that is coming to you that you have earned. You receive money, accolades, awards. It's because you have earned it. Nobody's doing you a favor. Nobody's just giving you anything. Nobody's gifting you anything. You earned it. You put the work in, you're getting it. As it relates to relationships, although I really think this is about accolades, sitting here atop the 6 of Fire, promotion, raise, bonus, new job altogether, love, right? Relationship that you put effort into, whatever it is, abundance. I think that's what people are getting. But it can have to do with relationships too, and coming to a crossroad in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a familial relationship, a romantic relationship, whatever it is, coming to a crossroad and deciding where we go from here, if anywhere. Because for some people, situations, it is the end of the road. We're not going anywhere. We're going to forgive what has happened. We're going to shake hands, and that's the end of it. We don't have to keep messing with each other. And for some, we're going to heal what went on, and then we are going to move forward. And this hurt is representing past hurt that's here at the heart of the matter, right? This is at the center of our situation. So now we got to deal with what else happened as a consequence, right? This is the past issue. We're letting that go. But it's at the root of the problem, so it has to be acknowledged also. Judgment in a general sense is about not being overly judgmental of yourself or other people, not beating yourself up, not throwing around guilt trips on folks, not being the moral police, being fair. Right? Judgment and justice is about equality and fairness, equity. Atop the Queen of Air, surrounding the masculine, the 10 of Summer, so yet another one. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy, balanced children. I'm not feeling marriage. I mean, it's possible. It says it here, and it is possible. But I'm not feeling marriage. I'm feeling very much breaking away from, if not the people involved here, the old circumstance involved here. We're breaking away from whatever went on that was negative, and starting anew. Again, either together, moving forward together, or starting anew that we separated, we walked away from one another, and we're individual new paths. Which would also make sense with this sitting here atop the Ace of Air, because again, it's a new beginning. But remember, it's a new beginning that was difficult getting to, where there may also be additional hiccups along the way. Atop that Ace of Air, Major Arcana card number 18, the Moon. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. This could be connected to the full moon in Taurus that arrives on Wednesday of next week. It is about the need to pay attention to our intuition, especially in this position here, masculine, in your subconscious. This could be representing thought also as an air card, communication, thought, truth, victory also, just like what crowns you. And the moon can be some of the things that you're thinking of, ideas that you're throwing around, the need to let go of some sort of fear, to cut that away. You could be thinking about situations, people, places, and things, that whether or not to cut them away too. Also, something, again, some sort of news may be revealed, because the Ace of Air is about truth and victory. With the moon here sitting with it, some truth may come out that is currently hidden. And speaking of Neptune and Pisces, the moon also represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot, although Earth's moon rules the sign of Cancer. Neptune is the ruler of the 12th house. It is about hidden stuff, hidden enemies, hidden information. So again, that can bring up the need to separate or to address and assess relationships with other people, regardless of who they are, and decide whether or not we're going to go further in those relationships or end them. And it can also have to do with some sort of secrets or hidden facts coming out, and connected to a family and children perhaps, and all those options and all those that we saw here. There can be things like who's the father, and coming out. That was a secret, or maybe a deep dark family secret. People are discovering now that we're grown. You know, we're here with the siblings. We're discovering that a parent is not, you know, who we thought they were, or something that went on with our family isn't as we had believed it always was. That kind of thing comes out with this, with the moon atop the ace of air. Crowning the feminine atop the 10 of water that is here. Because we got one here and now one here. Top this one, the princess of winter. Isn't that interesting? Here, with this 10 of cups, it's the queen of air or winter. With this 10 of cups, it is the princess of winter, or the page. Pages bring news. When I say some sort of news comes out. This is an intellectual challenge, and it calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, something comes out. Accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So don't take it personal who blurts something out at the family gathering, or, you know, whatever it is. Just receive the message, if there's a message in it meant for you. The princess of winter, a page of air or swords, is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. She is logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. So let's focus on these two, right? Truthful and undiplomatic. This is, again, true information being blurted out in a way that maybe might even be considered kind of tacky, the way it was said. But you learn something. So something comes out in an awkward way, and it can cause pain, because it can be information that was hidden from you for a while, and now it's being revealed. It's being sort of dumped on you. Maybe by an air sign, and maybe more specifically, a Gemini. Atop the King of Fire, the 7 of Summer. The 7 of Summer is here. The two cards that wanted to come out, right? One was the 7. So now we got 2. Seven of Summer, clarifying the King of Fire. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so. But don't overthink the situation. Just listen to your heart instead. Again, for me, the 7 of Summer represents the sign of Pisces, although it's not a court card, and the planet Neptune, which rules it. Similar to me, somebody else could have a dream that's like interrupted. They don't know the whole, they're missing pieces. This is a dream. This is a dream. This is like the abrupt end. It may be connected to some decision they have to make. Again, perhaps heart versus head. Or leave them thinking that they need to do something, but you're not really sure what to do because you're missing pieces of the dream. You can't remember the whole thing. Atop that Lover's card, the King of Autumn. Interesting. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. Maybe to fulfill your dreams, some of us have to leave a job, and we're debating because it feels like family there. I'm happy with the people, happy with the job overall. But maybe there's somebody that's overbearing, somebody that doesn't have a good temper, a good temperament, and so I'm deciding whether or not I should leave. And I think whatever the outcome is, if somebody stays, they're going to be successful. If they move on to another job, I think they're going to be successful. Because then we also have, sort of mirroring one another here, we have the King of Earth of Pentacles, coins, autumn, mirroring Judgment, which again is about abundance that's earned. So it's abundance that's coming to you. So I think ultimately the outcome is the same. It's good, but there may be some, not only hiccups or bumps in the road, but pain, having to separate from people that we care about or situations we care about. You know, we want to move to a new job, but it's hard to let go of the friends and people that we worked with, that sort of thing. I was feeling something again about with somebody's father here, but I'll move on. Atop the 8 of well, okay, so we're continuing on this path. Atop the 8 of water is the 9 of water, basically. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Didn't I say I just felt something really heavy about dreams? This is a dream. This is a dream. Okay. Well, now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So I guess even if it is an actual dream that you have and it gets interrupted, or you wake up too early, or you don't remember it, like I don't remember mine, don't worry about that even. And I can see being worried about it, because I'd be like, goodness, I can't remember. I'd be like racking my brain. But it's saying like, don't worry about it. Things again that are meant to turn out well are going to turn out well, regardless. The 9 of summer is like a big yes. It's a yes from the minor arcana. As it relates to love in particular, these are like yes or no questions. Yes. It's prayers being answered. It's wishes being granted. It's dreams coming true. Maybe a dream involving a king of fire or the divine masculine. Atop the 6 and 7 of cups, ooh, ego. You may feel that you're being trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth and break free of negative thinking. So this again could be like your dreams are being stifled. You could feel stuck in a situation because it's tugging at your heartstrings. So again, you don't want to leave maybe a marriage, a relationship, maybe because of the kids or something. So you're struggling with your decision, but you really want out. It can be connected to money or the materials, sitting here next to Judgment, which is about, can very well be about, again, earnings, things coming your way. You could be paranoid about it. This is in effect another 6. Major Arcana card 15 equals 6. It does represent the sign of Capricorn, which could be who this King of Autumn is. The King of Autumn sitting atop of this 6. Maybe a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. My other feeling about this, getting back to the 6 of Cups being about soulmates, and the 7 of Cups being about options potentially, and now the Devil sitting there, is that, and with the 3 of Swords sitting here, is that in the past life, which can also be represented by Pluto, right, the planet of death and rebirth, and Major Arcana card Judgment, it's like being, in the traditional tarot, the card is like a picture of purgatory. It's like Archangel Gabriel with the horn looking down at these souls. They're all like people with gray bodies and stuff. So that's the Judgment. That's representing the past lives. But the 6 of Cups does too. A soulmate card, a past life relationship card. It's sitting here atop this 3 of Swords. There was pain. Something really hurtful, painful happened in the past. One of the soulmates really deeply hurt the other in the past life. And so the karmic debt attached to that, it has to be worked out one way or the other. And so one is really sort of chasey, clingy, chasey, fatal attraction-ish, but not, I don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean like one is really, you know, like hounding the other, and the other, because they're the ones that were really harmed in the past life, they're carrying this with them on their soul. They don't know why. They don't know why they're resisting. And that one, you know, in one way they feel good being there with the other person, but, you know, on one hand, but at the same time, something's off. They don't know what it is. They just feel like an internal struggle. And basically, it's manifesting as fear. So here comes the devil again, because the devil can represent fear also, right? Fear, ego. In fact, in this deck, this card is called Ego. And with the Nine of Summer or Nine of Cups sitting here atop the 8, with the 8 being about wanting to move to something higher, like Bring Me a Higher Love, that song, something more spiritual, something deeper, something more meaningful. But it's also something about which I've dreamed, for which I've prayed, and it's finally coming true. This person is not going to be able to run much longer, basically, is what I'm getting. And this is very, very intense. I guess it's that Scorpio energy that we're going to experience this week. All the stuff that I'm feeling and hearing and seeing about all these cards. So I hope I'm making sense, because I feel a little bit like I've been all over the place when I try to tie in for you what I've seen or what I'm getting. So I'm jumping around from card to card, and I'm trying to explain what each card meant to me when I looked at it, so that it makes sense to you too. And I hope I'm accomplishing that. Yeah, it's a really, really deep and intense fear. But again, it's not negative. It's not evil like the devil. It's just feeling really bound by the fear and the pain from who knows how many lifetimes ago. I don't know. And possibly in this lifetime too, in the past, that could have been hurt. You guys could have repeated some cycle. This week, I don't know how many this applies, but this week some people are going to be brought together. 10 of Cups, brought together so that healing can happen, right? Healing, forgiveness. Healing, forgiveness, honesty, and revelations of truth, revealing things, the stuff being exposed, and laying things out on the table and really talking about them and working them out. Any element can be involved here. It looks like we pretty much have all of them on the table. Absolutely, a Gemini can be involved, because that has repeated and repeated and repeated. But again, that's potentially because both of Gemini's rulers are also active right now. Both Mercury and Venus located in Scorpio. Then we have the King of Autumn here. That is a court card, so it can be representative of an actual person. So any one of the 3 earth signs. Taurus, where the moon will be. Virgo, Capricorn, where the trine is being caused with Saturn. Major Arcana card, the Moon. Pisces. Judgment. Scorpio. The Devil. Capricorn. The King of Fire. Leo. Sagittarius. Aries. So again, I think that everybody is covered here. Anybody can get it, as they say, this week. Wow. Okay, that was intense. At the heart of the matter, atop the 3 of air. Wow. It's like, this is also both like intense and at the same time kind of anticlimactic. Like I was not expecting the 8 of autumn. But I get it. And I think you will too as soon as I read this. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement, I'm going to say, or, you know, improvements in your relationships too, with whomever. Friendships, again, familial relationships, business relationships, romantic relationships. The work and the learning that we're doing, where do we get the learning from? Where do we get the lessons from? Right? From what do we learn? The karmic debt, the karmic lessons, that's from where we learn. We're returning to these situations. We are revisiting them after who knows how many years in some cases to handle them. We're going to use our best work, do our best work, right? Put a genuine effort forth to healing these things. And the law of attraction is going to bring us prosperity, because that's how the law of attraction, intention, prayer, dreams, goals works. That's how manifestation works. That's how karma works. This 8 of autumn, atop the 3 of swords, 3 of air, is representing the painful karmic debt that we're having to face and from which we are going to learn. And so apparently something had happened. There was some static, and then the camera shut off. I did not know that there was static. I did not know the camera shut off. I continued with the reading. I think I last left you talking about these 2 cards here, that this card represented the pain, and that this card represented the karmic lesson that we were going to learn from this whole experience of hopefully breaking away from this pain and mending these fences and moving on to something more positive that includes fulfilling our dreams finally, all these dreams that are laying around us on this table, with the 9 of summer here at the root, which means, you know, like, yes, the dreams are coming true now. We're breaking away from these restrictions and this hurt, finally into a place of forgiveness. Many of us, it would seem many of us this week, perhaps in large part because of the moon. I mean, that would make sense. So in any case, I had gone on to pull out my 4 agreements cards, and this one was on top. It did something that made me want to read it. I don't remember, something had gone on. I don't remember anymore. Anyways, I'm going to read it anyway, because it did resonate with the rest of the reading, which I thought was really cool. Say goodbye to sadness and drama. All the sadness and drama that you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. That can be how we lead, get to misunderstandings. We don't understand why the person, maybe somebody has walked away from us. They're not talking to us. We don't get it. We think, what did I do? How dare they do this to me? That's our ego. I'm good to you. Why would you hurt me? And it has nothing to do with this, right? It has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with you, however you want to put it. That's what this card is talking about. And the guys just take a minute to think about that, and how sometimes people are just dealing with their own stuff. And we need to get over it in ourselves. Additionally, to the masculine, the first piece of advice to him comes from this deck, the Four Agreements cards. And his card is called Always Do Your Best. Love and nurture your body, masculine. Interesting. Your own body is a manifestation of God. And if you honor your body, everything will change for you. Practice giving love to each and every part of your body. This will plant seeds of love in your mind, and when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. Well, I certainly think that that includes your heart. And so there is a need to, like I said during the reading, hopefully that part didn't get cut off. You're going to have to stop running. That's what this is about. And we're needing to face these issues, many of us, and to get beyond this hurt. Because you want to stop running. Neither side can fight this pull that's between us. So whomever was hurt is wanting to be healed, and whoever did the hurting wants to be healed too by being able to apologize. So we're moving beyond that. Four Agreements card to the feminine. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief systems. So whatever they think about you is not about you. It's about them. The other side of the card says, ignore the opinions of others, feminine. Karmic lessons. Masculine got his own Eight of Earth here too. Skilled work is rewarded. Also learning all there is to know about a topic, maybe even going back to school. Those are possible too. This is still a general reading, and this can be about general things. You put effort into an area, you're going to reap what you have sown, masculine. It is yet another Ace of Earth too. Ace of Earth was our overall energy, and now it is the feminine's advice from another deck. The inflow of abundance, which I think is love for a bunch of people, a promising business venture, and maybe even important documents or contracts. From the Animal Tarot to the masculine, this makes sense too. More abundance. It is Major Arcana card number 3, the Empress. Time to leap into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. The Empress represents the planet and goddess Venus, ruler of Taurus, Libra, and Gemini. So the Taurus moon bringing him about. And I think we can see with a lot of these cards, this is abundance in many forms. Judgment, the Empress, the Eight of Autumn, the King of Autumn, the Ace of Autumn. We have another Ace of Autumn. So all of these about the abundance coming. And then 2 Tens of Cups, those two about abundance and feeling content, feeling happy, satisfied. We don't need anything else. 9 of Summer, our dreams coming true. So I just want to point that out. But the feminine's advice from the Animal Tarot. Ooh, the Two of Winter. This stirs things up a bit, doesn't it? This is another card similar to the High Priestess, but not as spiritual and not as strong, since this is minor arcana and that's major. But it's another card of non-action, and it's a 2, just like hers. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. That could be what's going on here too. There could be, again, like a family member, or maybe a father, a boss, somebody else that has a difference of opinion with yourself, and maybe has guided you in a particular way, and you're like sort of breaking away from them. You have a different belief. You have a different belief. I don't know. Oh, also, I don't think I ever said anything about judgment as it related to the Six of Cups. Judgment sitting next to the Six of Cups is, again, a soulmate relationship. To me, shows that you guys have been together in another lifetime, you know, similar to that, but that maybe you weren't romantically involved before, and at this time maybe, so that could be what the struggle is for some too. In this lifetime, you're trying to enter a new dynamic. And that's why there's been some struggles, and you probably haven't understood why. Maybe you were attached as family members of some sort before. Maybe even the feminine was the masculine's mother or something before with the Empress. So that can be the case. Also, I'm getting with this mother thing that could be with whom the problem is too. A mother having been an obstacle, maybe to your romantic relationship, or to a friendship, or to something, or maybe even to your relationship with your father. A mother having gotten in the way. I guess that can be for either side. That just came through. Okay, what did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to clarify the feminine's Two of Winter. All right, there's that Two of Winter. That's the feminine's advice. This is our deck of cards with the Six of Spring, our overall energy upright. So this is upside down. This is the next upright card. I will use it to clarify the Two of Winter. Although we already know the Two of Winter is basically a card of non-action. It means a decision or something needs to be made, but we're not doing anything. We're just sitting around. And in this case, in this deck, the reason is quite possibly because you're trying to please somebody else. You're torn between somebody else's belief systems or ideologies, their choice, and your own heart. So the card, we're guided to follow our own heart. Again, that can be where the mother comes in. That can be the other person. Mommy doesn't want, you know, her daughter with this guy, or vice versa. Mommy doesn't want her son with this woman, this girl. Or something like that. You guys get them. Those are only examples. You get the idea. All right, so this is the next upright card, and it is the Four of Summer. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. So again, you're moved and guided to follow your heart, to look into it, to do research if you have to, into whatever this situation is for you. And one more. We moved up to the Five of Summer. Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. Though this is a card of doubt, pessimism, oh, woe is me, nothing ever goes my way. So that could be... And that could be why you're sitting around not taking action, not doing anything with the Two of Swords, because you're too busy sulking. Six of Autumn. So another six. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money or reputable charities. The Six of Autumn for me is about unconditional love. It is the ability to both give and receive freely, without judgment, without agenda, without fear, and certainly without, you know, trying to impress somebody else. This is doing something for someone else because this is them accepting that gift because. So this is sharing love. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the general reading. I will be back with the actual love reading, although I think there's a lot of love here on this table with this general. So we'll see more carefully, more clearly, with the love reading, hopefully, what of this is specifically related to love and what of it is other energy that may pop up again instead in the moon reading. If you liked this video, you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, you found it brought you clarity, explanations, the things you've been pondering, please actually like the video, click on the button. And if you are not yet a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button, and then further to that, hit the bell button so that you will receive notifications every time I upload a new video. I want to continue to get as many of you to join me for these premieres. YouTube has included me in a new program, a new pilot where they are allowing me to premiere my videos. So it's kind of like we go to the movies together and watch them and talk, right? We chat, live chat while we live watch the video together. It's been a lot of fun. It's been, I think, therapeutic for some people. They don't have anybody to talk to about this sort of thing. And so, you know, it's like-minded people that are going through similar situations to your own. And, you know, we can work through some of this stuff together. So I'd like to continue to do that. If you like a reading from me, energy healing from me, you know how to find me. And again, I think that this week is a really optimum time to do it. I appreciate you all. Thank you especially to my subscribers and my sponsors, both here on YouTube and on Patreon. Namaste.